Two bold Colorado football predictions for Week 2 game versus Nebraska. The Colorado Buffaloes were the talk of college football after Week 1. They hired Deion Sanders to turn around their once-renowned football program. Coach Prime responded by totally overhauling their roster and making over 80 transfers in the transfer portal. His hire and approach were met with a mixed bag. He didn't have much head coaching experience, but he did a tremendous job at Jackson State in the SWAC. But the questions took a backseat to the applause and acclaim Sanders and his Colorado football squad received and deserved after they took down the 17th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs in Fort Worth, Texas, in Week 1. Colorado won only one game last season. They've already matched that. And now they are favorites against an old rival, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska also has a new coach at the helm in Matt Rhule, who is coming off a disappointing tenure as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers but was a successful college coach at Temple and Baylor before that. Nebraska lost their Week 1 tilt against the Minnesota Golden Gophers but led for most of the game. They may be down, but Nebraska won't be an easy out. That's one prediction. There are a few more to make for this game, and here are some other bold predictions as Colorado faces Nebraska. If Colorado was the biggest winner of college football from a team standpoint, Travis Hunter was the biggest winner from an individual standpoint. Hunter played on both sides of the ball and played well over 100 snaps in total. He had a pick on defense and made an incredible touchdown-saving tackle a few plays before. And then, on offense, he was a target magnet. He hauled in 11 balls, tied for the most on the team with Jimmy Horn Jr., for 111 yards. The biggest reception was a 43-yarder that came on a crucial 3-RD and 16 deep in their own territory that led to an eventual Colorado touchdown. Travis Hunter was a monster and arguably the biggest reason why Colorado won last week. He took advantage of a TCU defense that saw a lot of players leave from last year's runner-up squad. Nebraska's defense isn't much to write home about either. They gave up on average 414 yards per game a year ago. They did allow only 251 to Minnesota last week, but that was Minnesota. Colorado's offense is much more potent. Hunter should be able to keep the good times rolling and deliver another great performance. Colorado is favored by 3 or 3.5 points depending on certain books, and the public is buying what Deion Sanders is selling. There is major action on Colorado covering the spread this week. That's well and good, but it won't be easy to cover this spread. Nebraska is not bad. They haven't been particularly great record-wise over the last few years, but they are in every game. 9 of their 12 games last season were either wins or losses by a single possession. They did get their doors blown off by Michigan, Oklahoma, and Illinois, but those were all very good teams a year ago. If you take those games, along with Nebraska's 38-17 win over North Dakota, away and look at Nebraska's point differential on the year, it's positive. They were +2 in those 8 games. In other words, Nebraska is competitive but has had trouble finishing games. Colorado should win this game since their offense is much more potent and by far the best unit on the field on Saturday. But Nebraska will keep it close, and their luck in tight games will turn at some point. That could happen as soon as this week.